Hey now, welcome back to Lone Star Mini Restoration. Today is primarily about cleanup around the perimeter of the boot floor, as well as potentially removing the bench seat. So guys, it's a new day here in Texas. It looks like it's going to be another clear, sunny, hot one. It's early morning, people are out walking the neighborhood, and I pulled the Mini out. Yesterday I did some cleanup. I started on this guy. I wanted to get down to this bracket that you can see here, and I think I did a fairly good job of it. It was buried under multiple layers of rusted metal, and I was just like, it was almost intimidating, but I just had to start. So I just started chiseling and grinding and cutting away, and I did it. And it was like surgery, but I did it. And so then, of course, I went around here. This is the boot hinge panel, or I'm not sure what you call that, but this is. I cleaned it down. I cleaned it down to just one panel. I got rid of there were multiple layers sporadically through here. I cleaned that up. I left what I could. As you can see up here, it's all nasty and rusted out. So now I know there's a new panel that I have to replace. But I'm going to show some of that footage, and the reason being is because it wasn't overly complicated. However, it was a bit detailed. I mean, it was a bit technical getting in there. And so I'm just going to speed it up and show you. And it's really for my own record and memory. It's like, okay, what did I do? Because I couldn't find all the spot welds, and I just had to kind of work at it methodically. And I actually feel like I did a pretty good job of it. I'm also going to point out a few things that I've noticed. I can't say that I've learned, but a couple of things that I've noticed, and kind of a flag goes up thinking, all right, what's up? But also, real quick, if I may, DB Mini and Mr. Paul Robson, thank you. These two guys were very quick to respond to my video yesterday on two things. Paul Robson quickly reminded me or told me that that bracket that I salvaged, it's not part of the new floor pan. So thank you. I will clean it up now, get it right that I can reuse it. And also, DB Mini mentioned that there's holes that I need to look for where the fuel line penetrates the boot floor. I think I found those holes, but he said that they're different. He said the fuel lines that I maybe have on this car will be different than the fuel lines on the new floor pan that I'm getting. I'm guessing because it's a later model. But he says you'll want to keep that for a template. I'm not quite sure yet what he's talking about, but I believe that when I get the new floor pan, it will become evident. It's like, oh, yeah, here's the differences. One's larger, one's smaller, one's relocated, whatever. So I'm going to keep everything. And that's the lesson learned, right? Don't throw anything away until it's replaced. All right, so here's the right-hand bracket. If you can see, I think I've done a pretty good job of salvaging that as well without really damaging the bracket much at all. And here's one of the things that I found. This is on both sides. When I started grinding down all of this sealant, this yellow sealant stuff, I noticed, if you can see here, I noticed that the boot floor seam does not come flush with the arch seam. And again, that's on both sides. So, you know, what will the new floor be? Do I need to measure that? I will, just for the heck of it, I will measure that just so that I know. But I think that this bracket, no matter what, will locate the boot floor on the water line. So I'm not worried about that as much, but it's just something that I noticed. So it's like that all the way. These two panels are not flush. All right, so what I've done is I have found all the spot welds where the boot floor meets the bench seat. So I will take it out from the bottom side and try not to damage the backrest flange panel. And then of course around here, inside the bench seat, the boot floor bench seat, is spot welded to the companion bin. So I have ground that metal around too. Now I already have the new companion bin, so I'm not worried about, but I'm still going to try to keep it a clean job. I will just try to remove the spot welds and try to keep the companion bin intact as it is for now. That way it'll help me when I check fit the new boot floor. But I think when I remove those items, the boot floor will come out. So Winter's talking to me. She's saying, feed me, I'm hungry. Riv, hey guys. These are our fur babies. There's Winter and that's River. And that's their favorite ball. Oh, hello, you want to say hello? Hello. Hello, all right. So she's saying hello, good morning. Oh, well, really, she's saying, come feed me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crack on with that, and I'm going to start removing spot welds. Actually, let me go in and I'm going to feed the puppies. And then, hey, one note. This is, not that I work with metal a lot, but it just seemed to be common sense at the time. And right now, I'm glad I did it. I have saved a lot of these small cutoff wheels, and I just found the perfect opportunity to use them. In fact, when I'm coming in here, let me show you. I removed, as you can see here, I have ground down this spot weld on this flange, and this one. To get in here is a little bit tighter without cutting into this flange here. I've got to remove that one, and I've got to remove that one. So I'm hoping, I don't know yet, but I'm hoping that keeping these smaller wheels like this will allow me to get in there. And that's one thing, I have loved this. I do have a hand grinder that that you hold. It's a big electric thing, but this bad boy allows me to get into a lot of places that other one cannot. And this is my favorite tool, I think, for cutting metal. But yeah, let's crack on. I've changed plans slightly. Rather than drill out the holes in the spot welds between the companion bin and the boot floor or the bench seat, I decided to cut that out because it'll be easier to get to those spot welds without that bench in there. So here's what I've done, and I think I'm doing okay. My metal working skills are improving. Here, and I'll show you this from the inside, but you can see all my spot welds. They're done. This seat belt bracket back here is now released. You can see in there. And that small cutting disc worked beautifully for these two areas. Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. The cutoff wheel, this particular air tool is my favorite by far. It allows me to get into places that normally I could not, and I will show you another perfect example. Paul Robinson mentioned that this guy, I think, may not come with the new floor pan, so I'm going to try to salvage it. If I'm correct, I'm going to try to salvage that. And so what I did, this bad boy, hold on. This bad boy, see how low profile it is there? It allowed me, let me try to get this up here, hold on. Oh, sorry about that. It allowed me to get in there and just cut that out without damaging this stiffener whatsoever. So it worked out, it worked like a charm. Fabulous. But All right, so you can see in here all my spot welds. I did a great job because look at this side. Look at this side of the backrest. For the most part, except for a few places, okay, there's one slide hole. Here's another one almost penetrated. This one popped out entirely. But for the most part, I think I did a pretty good job. So now this is now detached. Here's where I changed plan. I was going to come in here and I was going to drill out all these spot welds. Well, then I figured, well, what the heck? I'm not keeping this panel. I'll just cut it out. So I cut this out. You see now it's loose, and I'll come back and clean this up before I fit the new floor pan. But I wanted to show that, and how here's another case. You know, I was able to get that cutoff wheel in this edge without damaging this stiffener at all. I didn't even touch the stiffener. So man, I'm in good shape. And here's something funny. Look at that pattern. You see this whole pattern on the wood, or on the wood. This whole pattern on the backrest. I was like, what the heck happened? Well, it's the magnets. I have this cool little useful magnet pad. Let me go around. I gotta get out of the car. I have this cool little magnet pad that I use just to keep my tools. You know, if I had a beautifully finished car, I wouldn't use this, but for this type of work, this guy is fabulous, and it holds my tools. Well, these magnets are pretty doggone strong, so when I started grinding on the inside, just debris, metal debris, pulled up into those magnets, and that's what created the magnet pattern. So yeah, I'm gonna pull the panel out now. I know there's a few places like up here. Hold on. There's a few places like right here. There was like this external major thick patch here. I don't know what that was for. I don't know if it was a patch job or what, but I know that this bench panel, so I'm gonna have to cut here, and then probably the same down here, cut here, and then this whole bench will come out. So let me do that. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this one up. As you can see here, the bench is out. I did a fairly good job. My spot welding skills have improved a little bit. Now I can come back through here and I can grind all this up, clean it up fairly well. I didn't even distort this panel very much at all. Only a little bit when I was prying it up, but that can be put back. I did have to cut this out, so now I have to cut this guy out. But now, without this bench in here, I can get to all this better. So now, once again, like yesterday, I'm left with just cleaning up the perimeter of the bench and cleaning up the seat bracket. All right, I took too long of a break. I went in, cleaned up, got all the metal off of me, and then I came back out and started cleaning the perimeter of the bench. Anyhow, I forgot to say adieu, right? So thanks for watching. I know there's some new subscribers out there. Thank you for tuning in. If you're interested in a restoration from a novice perspective, I'm your guy. If you need far more experience, just go on and head over to Keith Miller and Dave Jag or Classic Car Cave and a lot of those other guys. But I just wanted to say thank you to a lot of you. Thank you out there for your support and your education. Yeah, ain't it great? Bye just now.